Do you live or know someone who lives in the Denver metro area that needs heating or air conditioning services? Tell them the Be Heat and AC is the company to call, because we are the only company that comes out for free for all first-time customers. And if you want a second opinion for any of our advice, we send out the competition at our expense. We pay their service call up to $69. That's right, we pay their service call for you to get a second opinion. And if you enjoyed the content in this video, please guys, for the algorithm, like this video, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so that we can keep bringing you daily and weekly HVAC content that's pertinent for you, so you can have a more comfortable, fulfilling life.
Do you like doing service calls more than installs?
Definitely. Installs, it's a lot more tedious. You're stuck at the site like all day. With service calls, I get to travel around and experience new things all the time, different people, different places, scenarios, different problems. So it's more entertaining. Just need to lower it into this little groove. It's like a little claw. Tighten that up.
Kind of like a wine opener.
Yeah. Except I'm the one whining.
Sam is another guy that he actually started with us from day one and had, zero experience in HVAC, and he just expressed an interest in becoming a technician. And he was a super hardworking technician as an apprentice, and his nature, I always look at people's nature and how that will play into how they work. And he just has the nature of someone that likes doing things right, likes fixing them. He likes understanding things, so he's not going to just show up and do his job, get it working, and leave. He really wants to know that the system is set up properly, and that there's even though problem A might be the main problem, what other issues with the system could be arising just because one thing is the culprit. There could be several other issues contributing to that. And so Sam is a very skilled tech in looking at all the different issues that might pop up in a given system.
What was the diagnostics like to find out that this isn't working?
That.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then I pulled it out and I looked, and the wheel has actually shifted over and the spindle is bent. So the wheel's not moving, not sliding on the spindle at all, and I had the screw completely loose. But it had shifted over and threw out balance, and now the spindle's bent. So it's just constantly scraping on there.
Gotcha. And to fix it, you just have to completely replace it?
Yeah, the motor and the wheel. It's always best to replace both, especially when it does something like this. Throws that off, because if I just replace the wheel, this motor's already had damage. Since that spindle's all off, it's just going to be off balance again. And the same thing's going to happen. So you just got to remove the circuit board, everything in front of the blower, pull that up, make sure you're not going to run into any of the wires as you're pulling it out. Slide the blower out, and then it's just motor mount, take it apart, pull out the wheel, put it all back together. Lube it up. Like this one's because of rust. I don't know if they have, I don't think they have a humidifier, it doesn't look like it. It's just the humidity and stuff that gets inside, and certain metals, they rust. So this one attaches to the hub, and then this guy will screw down on the spindle while it's pulling on the hub, and then the motor will just come out. Just need to lower it into this little groove. It's like a little claw. Tighten that up. So as I'm screwing this down, it's forcing pressure on the spindle while pulling on the hub, which is attached to the wheel. So basically it's like this, pulling it out. So yeah, you can see the spindle's all rusted.
Oh yeah.
Way better. Slides right off.
Do you recommend like going with an OEM for the furnace rather than one that fits all?
I typically do. I give them the price for both. If they want to save a little money, they can go with that one. But I mean, I just feel the OEM stuff's always best, and you know it's 100% designed for that specific furnace. You know, so you're getting the right part. Just generally a little better quality, in my opinion. Could be a little quieter. Yeah, this is the one I might have to make a couple adjustments because I just don't know where this mount is supposed to sit, since that other one's the universal motor. You gotta make sure you put the wheel in right. Don't want to be this way, put your motor on that side and realize you did it all wrong. So you gotta remember how the old one was and where the motor mount's supposed to be. All right, moment of truth. So I always want to make sure the wires are in a proper position to where they can reach the circuit board. Because if I put them way back here, they're not going to reach, and then you don't know until everything's installed. And you get to have a lot of fun pulling it all out again. Get these started with your hand just so you know that they're in the threads. Because it sucks if you strip them. And then here on the spindle we have the flat side and then the rounded side, and there's a screw. So we want the screw to go in on that flat side. Make sure this is tight. I always like to support this bottom of the wheel when I'm pushing down, so I'm not putting all the force on the spindle itself. Otherwise I'll run into the exact same problems last time.
Do you think that's what caused the last one?
Which is possible, yeah, because that is a newer motor, but it's probably been in there for about 5 years or so. Just gotta watch where the wires are. You don't want to scrape them and cut them open, short circuit. And this is all just remembering where everything goes. This is my favorite tool.
Your flaccid drill?
It's just not quite. So imagine getting to this point and you don't have enough length to plug it into your board. Very frustrating. So I think I can just close my eyes and plug these into one of these. This one looks good. Alright, so now we gotta clean these up a little bit, cross our fingers and push the power button. You can just get rid of some of the slack. It prevents those wires from possibly getting sucked into the blower. So I always like to jumper it before. I don't like running up to the thermostat to like turn it on and then you hear crazy noise and you have to run back down. Not that I expect to hear a crazy noise, but yeah, so basically I'm just telling the computer right now, the circuit board, to turn the fan on. So it'll just do that right away. But if it happens, I can shut it off.
A little loose.
Sam is a great technician too, because he really does care about the customers, and so when he shows up, he actually wants to do a good job for them. It's not, you know, just about showing up and fixing the system. He's very personable, and he very much cares about doing a good job, doing it right, taking care of the customer, and making sure they're aware of what's going on, and explains the whole process.
So first, you know, let it run for a little while, and then I'll test for carbon monoxide in the ductwork. Once we check for carbon monoxide, as long as there's nothing detected in the ductwork, then I can move forward. We just go through the system, checking the motor amp draws, the capacitors on the blower if it has one. Sometimes the inducer has one. Check the gas pressure, make sure it's not overfired. We check the flame sensor, see what the reading is, igniter, just a whole bunch of different things. And then we do a light wipe down on everything, and just make sure that all the components are functioning properly. It's not overheating, so we check the temperature rise, what's going in the unit, for how much it's heating to what's coming out, and just to make sure it's all within manufacturer specs. It's the rating that's on it. Basically, the filter is just a lot more, tight knit, so it's preventing a lot more smaller particles from being able to pass through it. So they're going to get clogged up a lot faster, but it's also preventing the airflow from going through as easily as your lower rated filters. So some furnaces, it could be a brand new furnace, you put in a brand new filter, and just because the filter is too restrictive, right away you're having overheating and static pressure issues. So we always recommend getting one that's like a MERV 8 or FPR 8 or less. Those ones are generally okay. Because if you have like allergy issues, or you want to do something to prevent viruses, bacteria, mold, that sort of thing, there's other options. So you can upgrade your system with like a UV light or a electrostatic air filter that'll allow the most airflow, but be able to capture all that stuff too, or kill it. So. Just got to turn it on in fresh air so we calibrate it. Take a picture of the label. It tells me what the amp draw is supposed to be, 0.4, so we don't want to be over that. We'll be fine. Wires coming out. So that's a little high. Oh, it's a 1.4. The one scraped off. Okay, so we're good. Yeah, max 12 amps, max fuse 15. This should be at 15.
So is the gauge broken, or is it just high?
No, see how it says T30?
Oh yeah. Oh, I see.
So this is not going to do anything. The furnace, they don't want it to go above 15 amps. If it does, they want to trip the thing here. So the breaker should be at 15 or 20 at minimum, but this says max 15, so it should be on the 15 amp breaker. So temperature coming in 75, temperature going out 134, 135-ish, so we're right around 65, 70-ish. Temp rise between 45 and 75 is acceptable by the manufacturer, so we are good even with that restricted air filter. So now I'm going to test the flame sensor. So it's telling me the microamp reading. So we just put the meter in series with the flame sensor and the circuit board. Should get a reading. Generally 2 and above is good. Anything below that, it either needs to be cleaned off or replaced. it's holding above 2, which is good. Alright, so another thing that we want to do is make sure that we clean out the inducer port here, because this can get a lot of buildup. You know, there's a lot of rust and some white crap. I don't even know what it is, but it's from the exhaust and condensation that builds up in there, because there is moisture that goes out. And it can get stuck up in here and then cause your issues on your pressure switch because it's not getting enough negative pressure to close. So we just pop this off. It's hot. A lot of times it's melted to here. Yeah. So once that happens, just got to peel this off. There's plenty of length left to put it back on, or you can replace the hose. So I just get, you know, some, I don't know, 10 gauge wire or something. First thing, you do want to shut off the inducer motor. Good idea, because there's a fan inside of there that's spinning around just like a blower motor. So once it stops spinning, then you can stick this in. And you can see it's going in plenty of distance. You just want to get through into this case. Anything that's built up in there gets off. You don't really see much. That's good. And the hose that broke will just slide back on.